Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to use Plickers. This is also something that our kids, or my kids, love. Um, this is basically it's easier for a classroom that doesn't have technology for every student. All it requires is one phone and a board to look at, or a projector basically. And honestly, I don't even know if you would need a projector for this. You could probably make it work somehow. But the teacher needs a cell phone or some kind of device that can download the app Plickers. And when you download it, it's going to basically show you this, and you're going to be able to click through your classes. This will show you. You can look at reports back. Like obviously, didn't do this today. I did it March 15th, but I can look back and see how many students answered what class it was, the percentage correct, the question, that kind of thing. I have 3 different classes, so I have block 1, 2, and 3. For the free version, you can't create any more than 3 classes, but typically people don't have more than 3 classes, and if they do, then they can always just create a different Plickers account for that to get around that unless you want to pay. Anyways, I have classes. I can't really click on them because I have names will pop up. But if I click on block 1, 2, or 3, it'll pop up with the attendance. With the attendance, it will tell you the number that each child gets. And let me just go show you the card. So this is basically what the cards look like. You just print them. You print one set, and it is the same exact set for all 3 classes. So if you want to eliminate them, then you need to do that with matte lamination papers because it will shine and reflect if not. Anyways, each student's going to have their own card, and the way they hold it, there's like an A up here, you can't really see it, and then a B, C, and D, that kind of thing, and it's got the number in the corner. The number of the card has to match with their attendance on the attendance sheet for classes. That's how it collects data for you. But each student's going to have their own card. You're going to live view it, and let me show you. I'm going to do this on my phone through the app. I'm going to pull up block 1 for you. Let's see. And this right here is what they will see on their on the board. So according to this question, they are going to have to choose their answer. That's when the A, B, C, and D comes into play on their little card that they hold. The correct answer that they choose, or the answer that they choose that they think is correct, needs to be the one on top. So they flip the card how they think it should be. And you take your phone and you just, on the app, it says scan, and you scan through it. And it'll pick up. And it's crazy because at first I was like, how in the world is it going to pick up all 24 of my students if my phone can't even correctly scan a Walmart QR code at the bottom of my receipt? But believe it or not, it does. It shows you if they get their answer right or wrong immediately. It shows them, this is what they see right here. It shows them that they have answered it. You can reveal the answer if you want to, and it tells them if they get it right. I don't typically do that because it kind of puts them on the block, on the on the pedestal, or just out. It's just sometimes they get really embarrassed if they get the answer wrong. So I typically click graph, and it tells you how many kids answered what. And then this is where I reveal the answer, and obviously the answer is C. On your phone or your tablet or whatever you're using to show that, or to scan, it will tell you who got what wrong, what they chose, and then what the correct answer is as well. So that's really neat because you can see how your students are doing, but they necessarily only know how they're doing because they know, hey, I'm number 1 and I know what answer I chose. So they would read all of this, and you'd scan in their answer. give everyone the chance to, typically in middle school, it's better to say, everyone hold your cards down until I say go. When I say go, they all lift them. That way that nobody's looking around and seeing what other people put. This Plickers program makes it a lot harder to cheat than most programs I find, because number one, they all have a different QR code. Just like every student has a different fingerprint, they're all going to have a different QR code. So it clicks in their own QR code and the number that goes with it. And so they can't look at their neighbors and say, well, they're holding it this way and the shape's upside down, because their shapes are even different. So that's really useful for middle school. And basically that's how it goes. And then when you're ready to change the answer, you're just going to go back onto your device that you're holding in your hand, and it changes it immediately. You don't have to click on anything on here. You control it all through your device. So you can walk around the classroom, which is really neat. You can walk around the classroom and see what the kids are doing, see how they're doing, walk around, scan the answers in. That's totally up to you. And again, you're going to click graph. 17 obviously chose that. Reveal the answer, and the green one is the right answer. So this doesn't necessarily take as long as the Kahoot that I did on my resource page to set up, because you hand out the papers. I keep them myself because I don't have them laminated and I don't want them being ruined or lost. So I keep them in a little drawer in my bin to prepare for the week. But I keep them for them so that they don't lose them, because I've learned that my students are very good at losing necessary items. Anyways, but they're not laminated, so I try to keep them as straight as I can. And that all comes down to like when you're scanning it in. If the paper is extremely crinkled, they threw it up in a pile or something, and then they unfolded it, it's going to mess with the scanner. It's not going to scan it in correctly, or maybe not at all. And I've learned this, it doesn't even matter if it's like literally a half of a centimeter over the QR code of like their finger where they're holding it. It literally has to be completely uncovered. They can hold the paper, but they cannot put their finger anywhere around the QR code. Otherwise, it won't catch it. And if that happens, all you have to say is, hey, your finger's over it, Sally. And they can move their finger and it'll click it in. It shows you when they click in, and it'll show them again when they click in right here. This is what it looks like for a student that hasn't clicked in. These were my absent students, but they will know when they click in as far as the blue check. So basically, that's it. You can sort them however you want. Again, you can create classes. You can add a new class right there. You go in and you just, let's see. You can just go in and add roster. You can add students according to just typing in their name right here. You can do your reports, like I said, and the library. So I've done STEMS review. There's no, hold on a second. Let's see. Okay, so this is just of all of my questions that I've done, and each of these questions have already been done by all 3 blocks. But if I wanted to do a new question, I could just type new question, that question here, what is your favorite candy? I know that doesn't relate, but it's the only question I can think of. It can be true, false, or it can be multiple choice. You saw multiple choice. Let's do true, false. Let's see. False. My favorite candies. Actually, Laffy Taffy. Anyways, that's beside the point. You can add an image if you want. That would give it away, because I would put one or the other type of candy. But sometimes if your picture can relate to it, then by all means go for it. Save and create, or you can save and create new. This means that you came up with another question. You can cancel that if you don't want to do another one. And right here, it doesn't have, if you notice, it doesn't have any of the colors because none of my classes are current to it. So if I were to try to pull this up as is on my phone or my device, it wouldn't come up because it's not on the queue for each class. So I'm going to add it to first block. And my classes are differentiated, so my classes are differentiated. So my third block's my accelerated group, and they typically have more questions than my first and second block. So I wouldn't add, if it was just a question for my third block, I wouldn't add it to the first and second. But if I want my entire class to, all three of my classes to answer it, or whatever class I want to answer, I would just do that, and then it's done. And then live view, obviously. And that's when you begin using your device to control it. So again, this is a very user-friendly website. I figured it out on my own. I'm not too technologically advanced. You go to cards to find your cards. You print them out. You can choose large cards, which is what I did. This is what they look like close up. And see, you'll see the attendance number right here, the letters. And if I were to scan this in as is, if it was printed and scanned in as the way it's turned upside down, the answer would be A. If they would want to do the answer is B, they would need the B to be up here. So that's basically how that works. And again, it's very easy to use for you as a teacher and as well as in the classroom. It may take a trial run. It did take me a trial run. I had never used it. My kids were a little confused at what even a QR code was. We straightened that out. They eventually found out and used it for other activities. But we did, we were able to figure everything out. And now I just have to say Plickers, and they're ready to go. They love it. So if there's any questions, feel free to contact me on my website, and I will answer any questions or comments that you have. Other than that, I think we are all good.